had a plan for what we were going to talk about, and then Diana and I met earlier this week, and there was a couple things that came up. I was like, all right, so let's pivot and switch our conversation to lead gen for local businesses because that seemed to be an area that could potentially use some help. And it's really why we're here is to help not just build the network, but help to connect the businesses with customers. So we want to make sure that we arm everybody with as many tools as possible to do that. And that's really what we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about lead gen for not just our businesses and connecting with vendors and agents. It's really lead gen connecting customer with vendor or business. So that's our primary topic today. Hopefully everybody's excited about that. I can hear the rah-rahs. I can see you all shaking your hands. So we're good.
Woohoo!
Yeah, see, there it is. All right. Let me see, make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Close that. All right. I am going to move that over. Zoom. Let me share my screen. Share that. Move that out of the way. Present. Full screen. Okay. Everybody can see my screen. Yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Fantastic. So what we're doing is we're talking about turning conversations into customers. It's real lead gen for local businesses, how we transform our everyday conversations and everyday communication into really valuable business connections for not just for us, but for our vendors and the people that we're working for. And if you are, a business aside from being an agent, you can utilize these tools as well. There's nothing that says that you can't do this for your own businesses. Um, it's really, really practical stuff for connecting, and just going out and prospecting for our businesses, prospecting for ourselves, and putting strategies in place that allow us to keep a funnel of people coming through the XP directory through our own businesses and keeping our pipelines full. We're looking at how do we become those local entrepreneurs that generate leads through real conversation. We don't want to become spammers. We don't want to be just a lead gen group. We want to be able to effectively generate leads that are going to become customers or at least are interested in services. They need something done. And we're there to make that connection between the two. Little side note, back up. I saw a post in a group in Arizona today that I thought was really interesting. It was a lady that runs a concierge service. So what does she do? She does kind of stuff around the house. She helps people out. Maybe she potentially has a group that drives people back and forth or does some light housekeeping, laundry, stuff like that. And I thought, this could be an angle for us to reach out to people that want to become or want to say they're starting their own concierge business. And this is an opportunity for them to utilize the XP platform as the tool to fulfill on their concierge business. So I just thought it was an interesting angle for somebody that's already doing something similar, but knowing they have to try to either do it themselves or find somebody to do it, whereas the XP network is the directory to help them find all those people to fulfill everything they need to do, and way more than they would have ever been able to do, all the tools and people that they could possibly have by utilizing the network. So I'm going to reach out to that person. I've also got some other ideas in the works about how to reach out to people to say, hey, if you're interested in starting a business like this, we may be able to help you out. So this is just, again, you never know what opportunities are going to be out there until you start looking. And then as you start to look, you're going to see more and more opportunities of people that are really interested. Now, they may have a good network, they may have good people, they may already have a group of customers that they're serving that we can help provide them resources for. But before I dive totally into the lead generation piece of this, I want to talk through the entrepreneur's emotional journey because this every single one of us go through. And Diana and I were talking about it earlier this week, and it was there's a lot of ups and downs as an entrepreneur. We do a lot of work. We put forth a lot of effort, and it doesn't always feel like it's paying off. And everybody goes through this curve. Everybody. And honestly, we go through it multiple times as things change. And it's kind of universal around change, around being a person, being going through any type of a journey. But we always start, especially as an entrepreneur going into a new business, with just uninformed optimism. We think, oh my God, everything's going to be great. I'm going to do this. I'm going to knock it out of the park. I'm going to, I just need to know where I signed to buy my Maserati, my Lamborghini, and my new island. That's the optimism that we all have when we start these get into a business, get into a new opportunity, and start looking at, hey, what the opportunity looks like. And we have no idea what the hell is possible or what's going on. And then as we start to learn more, we start to pile stuff onto our heads of, oh, I need to do this. I need to build a website. I need to prospect. I need to be a salesperson, and all of these different things that I need to do. And that becomes the downward slide of we start to know and we get pessimistic. Does this really work? Is it actually going to work for me? I'm struggling to get through. I don't know if I'm doing the right things. And, I've got so much to do. I've got family, I've got kids, I've got work to do. I'm doing a million different things, and they just start to slowly slide down into the valley of despair. And everybody lands there at some point. And you can either go back to the beginning and find a totally new opportunity and start all over again, which you're going to still have the same thing, or you can start working through. And I hope that's where everybody is here. Is you're working through and you start chipping away. And that's why you're on these calls and why we're doing these things is to provide the resources and the tools so that you're not stuck in the valley. You're not stuck there alone. You've got resources, you've got people that can help you, that want to help you to slowly work your way back up. And as you work your way back up, you start to feel the momentum. It's not right away. It takes a little time doing the work, the power hours, the stuff that we talk about every week. And the more you do, the better you get. And the more optimistic you become. Oh, hang on. Until you get yourself back to the top and you feel good about it and things start running and going and things start working. And that's everybody goes through this. And again, you're going to get to a point where you're going to feel good about it, and then something's going to happen and you're going to try something new and you're going to, go right through the valley again. But it's a natural course of what we do. And I don't want you to feel alone. I don't want you to feel like you're doing this on your own and you're stuck and you don't have help, you don't have resources, because this is a natural process for change. And I wanted to talk through this just to kind of level set the emotions and the emotional journey of any business owner, anybody that's going through something new. We all go through it. We've all been there. I've done this hundreds of times in my career, and it can be really challenging at times, but once you start getting and start feeling like you're building momentum, it's an amazing feeling on the other side of it. So I wanted to share this before we get into the meat of today's uh, conversation, just because I think that it's worth talking about because we just never know. You don't know where everybody else is in their journey, and understanding that there's a lot of emotion involved, there's a lot of baggage involved, there's a lot of self-doubt, and we have to work through that. And we all do it in our own way, but we're all here to help each other through and to make sure that you're not alone on your journey. All right, so now let's get into the fun stuff. Um, Normally, we would start with somebody hopping off mute and sharing a positive experience, something that happened over the week. Does anybody have anything that they want to share that's gone well for you over the last week? Something that you've done that maybe you didn't do before, or something that you've learned over the week that you think is impactful or meaningful? Anybody?
I always have something to say, but I feel like I am probably the only one.
You're the only
But
one brave enough to say
everybody
it.
else is kind of shy. Maybe it's just that it's that everybody's doing good. But we had a couple of good connections with people from Mexico today. We had a very interesting call. Um, Business opportunities coming from there, so we're really excited about it.
That's awesome. And where did it come from?
Actually, just a Facebook invite, so it's simple as that.
Yeah. Don't
Using Facebook, yeah.
overcomplicate things. I mean,
Hmm.
that really is, it's just that easy.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for
Um,
that. Anybody else have anything they
yes,
wanted to share?
I was invited to a meeting this afternoon at noon actually for Business Network Society, and I was able to speak about my business, my personal business, which is Brushmasters, and it was exciting the topic was about our image, being ourselves, our brand, being our us as the main I guess the main person or the main brand is we represent our brand. And so it was interesting to discuss that, and also the fact that it was a small group, maybe like 20 people, but everyone had a unique brand, and it was an interesting gathering. And so that was my experience today, this morning.
And that's awesome. And personal brand is super, super important. And that's a lot of what we're doing with the stuff that we do here in this group is a lot of it could be classified as personal branding. How do we set ourselves up? How do we establish ourselves? And how do we build on that brand? Because especially in the small markets that we're in, branding is the face. It's the people that it's what makes the connections. It's what happens. And people don't buy from Apple in the local communities. I mean, they're buying from Apple, they're buying from Nike, but in a local business, they'd much rather see the face. They'd rather see the owners. They'd rather see the people rather than them trying to act like they're a big brand. Brand yourself. Be the person that's not afraid to get in front of a group or get in front of a camera and talk and share what's going on and taking pictures. Because it goes a really, really long way to establishing yourself as an authority in the community. Whether you own a business or you're starting up a business and working with XP, it doesn't matter. It's really important and it's very impactful. And you can do a ton with social media for creating that brand, and it allows and it opens up a lot of doors for you. So that's awesome, Nancy. So diving into the details, where do we find local leads? And we're focusing on home service leads, but this could potentially be anywhere, but we'll stay focused on home service businesses for right now. So online communities. We've got local Facebook groups. I think we've talked about it, but I can't emphasize this enough. Local Facebook groups are a huge opportunity because people self qualify to say, hey, I live in, you know, San Antonio, I live in Dallas, I live in McKinney, I live in these smaller towns, and those are groups made up of people primarily that live there, and a lot of them are homeowners. Um, so it's a really great opportunity to get into those groups and find people that are looking and prospect and build your network. Um, Neighborhood buy and sell groups. There's a ton of those groups like that are trying to sell something or kind of like yard sale groups. Mom focused communities. There's a lot of those. Nextdoor is a great opportunity to hop into Nextdoor and find people that are looking for services. It doesn't take very long to jump into Nextdoor and scroll through in a given city and find 5 or 10 people that are looking for something to be done, looking for a recommendation. It really has become a recommendation hub. So I would, if I'm looking for leads for service, the two places I would look first is Facebook groups and Nextdoor. Those would be the two places I would start. Offline opportunities. Because again, we don't want to just talk about digital stuff. We want to be in front of people at the same time. Local events like the one that Nancy was just at, community bulletin boards, coffee shop conversations, farmers markets, any place where there are people gathering and you get the opportunity to meet people, talk to people, find out what they're doing, and HOAs, homeowners associations, are getting another place that you can find uh, groups of hundreds of people that own homes that and they're all sharing ideas as to who are good service providers and who needs something. So if you can get into an HOA group or you know somebody that's part of an HOA group, those are another really good opportunity to find people that need services. Real estate connections. This is another one that's not always thought of, but is a great opportunity because local realtors are know people that are moving into the neighborhoods or moving out, and they know property managers and the homeowners associations and buyers groups of new people. So those new people moving in typically need everything, especially if they're moving from a new city. They need everything. They don't know anybody. They need good connections, and that's where connecting with a realtor, getting a realtor on as an agent is an awesome opportunity, but getting them in, and maybe they just become a referral partner for you, whatever works. But understanding and knowing that real estate people and connections are a really great opportunity to connect with people that are going to need services. Chris and I have talked about this before, that real estate people are really a great opportunity here to find, connect with them, and have them be agents for us moving forward. Anything else anybody wants to add to this one? This is not the end all be all. This is just kind of, hey, these are options. All right.
I do.
So,
I would like to. I would like
yeah,
to. I just would like to add something that I mentioned this before. We are actually our platform is concentrated. Remember, guys, we're concentrated in a small and medium sized business. And like Jody said before, there's so many different ways that you can definitely have access, to potential prospects between agents and vendors. But I'm gonna talk about my personal experience since I started, any kind of business here in the U.S. And one of the things that actually a lot of people like to do on weekends, where you can find a lot of vendors in one place at fairs, flea markets. I mean, stuff like that. For example, I'm not saying that you go to flea market to go to people that they're selling, yeah, used stuff or clothing, but you got so many, fairs coming in there. You have a lot of, flea markets that are kind of really nice place where people open their business during the weekend. Well, guess what? If you think about it, and you start walking a really nice, we call it flea market, call it whatever you want, but you found jewelry people, you got people selling their products. I mean, there's a lot of small vendors that use the flea market on the weekend because of traffic. But those are perfect because if they are sitting there between the entire weekend, that's a potential. What are they doing during the week? So that could be an amazing opportunity for you to talk to them. You can walk and maybe they have 100 to 200 vendors. Well, you pick up 100 or 200, exchange business cards with them, and now you have the entire week be able to reach after them. And believe me, many of them, they already have existing businesses, and they use the flea markets and the weekend just to, like I said, to attract, to be able to maximize the traffic. But at the same time, it could be potential people that are they're working on the weekend to make an extra money. So if they are there, it's got to be a reason why they dedicate the weekend. So that would be an amazing other way for you to actually connect with those vendors that can become vendors or potential. And I'm pretty sure everybody like to walk once in a while. I mean, I don't say for you to go every single weekend, but I'm saying, I mean, flea market. I use it since I'm here in this country, and I did a lot of business contacting, vendors inside of flea markets where you maybe have fun at the same time and just walking through.
yeah, good call. They can be anywhere, and there's a lot of fairs. There's a lot of events that are held. We have them. We have event centers nearby here that they're full every weekend. So utilize what you have available for sure. Okay, so what is our checklist? How do we work through this and make it an effective process when we're kind of doing this lead generation activity? So I put it through in as simple, straightforward a process as I could. We want to spot questions. We want to go through these groups, through these, whether it's online or offline. Look for the low-hanging fruit. Look for the easy opportunities. Identify people, that are looking, that are actively looking. It's a lot easier to help somebody who's actively looking than to make somebody, remember something that they need. So if they need a handyman, looking for a painter, they're looking for an electrician, if they're seeking recommendations, those are ones that we should be going to every single time. We should be looking for those posts, scanning through, and you can search on any of the groups and you can search by, hey, what is it that they're looking for? And immediately find those. Offer, and then once you've identified and once you found somebody that's saying, raising their hand and saying, hey, I need help, offering assistance. Hey, I know a really great local painter, handyman, roofer, whatever it may be, whatever they're looking for, and asking, hey, do you want their info? Not immediately just dropping a link and taking off. Asking, hey, now I know somebody who does a really great job. If you'd like, I can send you over the info. And why do we do that? Because what we want them to do is say, yeah, I really like the info. And then our follow-up is, perfect. Can I send you a DM? And then, or a text message or a phone call, whatever it is. And this is the most critical step. The reaching out via messages. I can't tell you how many lazy prospecting people I see out there that, hey, I'm looking for a handyman, and you look and there's 15 different comments of, hey, yeah, I'm, I do that, or I do that, or I do that, or yeah, me, but they never do anything else with it. They don't reach out to anybody. They put it all back on the person that needs help to call them or to message them or research them. They don't want to do that. They want somebody that's going to put forth the effort that, hey, you want my business, then do the work. Send me a message, reach out to me, act like a professional. And that's where you can separate yourself from everybody else by going through and not just dropping the message. You absolutely want to drop a comment, but then you follow up with a private message to them saying, hey, I saw that you were, looking for a handyman, for example, or a landscape or whatever it is. I know a really great one. What is it that you're looking to have done? And not just immediately go into the pitch, but go through and ask them what they're trying to accomplish so that when we connect them, we know we're connecting them with a business that actually does what they're looking for. Because if we immediately just drop a link for landscaping and they're actually looking for somebody that just does lawn service, and the person we send them to only does project-based landscaping in building out, beds and walls and fences and planting trees and stuff like that, they're going to feel like it's just a waste of time and that lead isn't a good lead for them. So, and it's not a good fit for the customer. So we want to make sure that we're asking that, being the professional and qualifying that person that we're reaching out to. What is it that they need? What is it that they're trying to solve for? And making sure when we do make that recommendation, it's the best fit for them and the business that we're referring them to. And once we do that, again, you're setting yourself way above everybody else. It takes a couple extra minutes, but you know what? Now you have a much better chance of closing that job or that customer becoming an actual customer of the business, that it's worth it, because now that you're going through this qualification process, the person that you're talking to feels like, hey, this person really cares and they know what they're talking about. And the business gets a much better lead sent to them. So you want to go through these steps. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be drawn out. 3 or 4 questions probably is the most that you would ever need to find out what it is that they're doing, where they're at, is it a good fit? Is there anything specific that they're looking for? What have they tried in the past that didn't work? And putting them in the bucket with the right person. And then we can absolutely share the vendor listing. But again, to be a professional, what do we want to do? We want to get their information, make sure that they have a customer account set up, and then we want to supply that information to the business. We'll go in, we'll fill out the lead form, and we take care of it because now we own it. We're going to help make sure that customer gets taken care of, and we want to make sure that that lead is followed up on from the business. So again, we become the owner of making sure this customer is taken care of. They've been put in the right bucket with the right business. We follow up, make sure the business has their information, make sure the business does follow up, and see if there's anything that we may have missed or could be done differently to improve our processes, and then track and follow up. Follow up with both. Follow up with the customer, say, hey, is everything okay? Did you get communicated with? Any of those things? And follow up with the business. Hey, did you get their information? Is there anything that I could have done better from the agent side to make sure that you got a good quality lead? Is that a good lead for you? And ask any of those questions. So we want to make sure that we're going through the process and we're doing it as a professional more so than just a spammer or somebody who drops a comment and takes off and never looks back. Because there's a very big difference between somebody that's a spamming and somebody that's a professional and taking care of a customer. So hopefully that makes sense. And are there any questions about that process before I want to move on? Because from 3, 4, and 5 is a very different process than what most people will do or most people are willing to do.
I want to add something real quick, and this happened to one of our agents, where she is actually the way that she is promoting herself as, I'm the one that can connect you with any service provider that you need. It's working so good for her that she's getting a lot of people coming to her for referrals instead of her having to go find them. So really important for us to do that. She does a lot of videos, a lot of exposing herself as, this is what I'm gonna do, this is how I serve my community. You come to me to help you with connecting you with good service provider. We have a director, so she's promoting herself to be able to get the community to come to her for referrals. So this is working amazing for her, and I know that if we follow that direction, everybody's going to have the same result.
That's
Well, no-
awesome. And that's 100%
Yeah,
the
no-
way to do it. The more she shares what she's doing and how she's helping, the more people are going to flood to her.
Well, guys, don't ever forget that you getting, actually supporting that point, which I think it's amazing what she's doing right now, because in the end of the day, believe me, that once people start understanding, hey, you know what? The XP platform, it's an amazing network of agents, right? That they automatically can help me faster to found a provider, right? So I think the same way, like we mentioned, we mentioned the other day in the morning meeting, that if you are looking for an insurance, well, you're not gonna be calling every single insurance company. You go through an agent, and the agent is gonna try to find the best deal for you. Same thing on real estate, right? So real estate, you're not just picking up and start looking houses like crazy and make your own appointments and do that. What do? Well, you actually contact to your real estate agent that does all the connection for you. So the same way, I believe this is going in an amazing direction, because don't forget, you getting, if you do that, you automatically getting 50% of that referral fee. So remember that lead, every single call that you receive and every single time that you have the opportunity to connect a client through a vendor, there is a potential 50% commission coming your way. So this is an amazing opportunity. I mean, I want for people call me all day long. If the only thing I have to do is connecting and be able to maximize the compensation for that, I do that all day long.
Yeah. And the other thing that does is that allows us to help train the vendors on how to follow up and how to make sure that they're closing the jobs. Because there's going to be some vendors that we're going to deal with that are fairly new into this whole digital process, and allowing them to see how we're helping them is going to actually open up the doors, because now they're going to be referring other vendors to us. They're going to be referring people. They're going to start talking about their experiences, and it just creates this cascading effect for everybody. So this is a really great opportunity. So thanks, guys, for jumping in there. So conversation starters that really generate leads. So we want to look at, how do we do it? If we don't find some things that, when we're going out there and we're looking for people that need help, you're not always going to immediately find somebody that is looking for, a recommendation. If you look hard enough, you will, but sometimes you want to kind of prime the pump a little bit. So here's a couple of things that we can do. Getting into these groups or going on to Nextdoor and stuff like that, and posting questions around, hey, what's your biggest home project that you're working on right now? And just getting people to engage and to share what they're doing, share what they're working on. Or you may find some people that are like, hey, I'm getting ready to do a remodel, but I don't know where to go, or I'm still looking for contractors. And this gives us an opportunity to grab that information and connect with those people, and now to Chris's point, we can go in and start helping them find the right contractors for them. Service providers, again, going in, creating a post. Hey, who do you usually call for help at home? Again, I would probably be a little bit more specific. I would probably say, who do you usually call if you need to get your TV mounted, or if you're, going to get your landscaping redone, ready for fall or ready for spring? Who do you call? Who do you call if you've got paint that needs to be done or drywall? In asking specific questions, you're going to get people that are going to raise their hand and say, hey, I need somebody, or hey, thanks for doing this, because I've been looking for somebody that I can trust to do this, because I've called 3 people and none of them called me back. And we see that a lot. There's a lot of people that get frustrated by trying to work with contractors and they never get a call back. They never hear anything back. And our goal here is, as we build out this network, we've got people that we trust within the network that are going to do the job and follow up. And then we get to choose the best of the best when we're connecting the people with the contractors or providers. Resource offering, kind of just, hey, I'm building a list of really trusted local pros. Hey, is there anybody that you think should be on it? Or if you want my list of local pros, let me know and I'll share it with you. And that's really us just sharing our directory so that they have access to it. Again, super easy to do. You can actually just create the color block post, is what it's called, where it's just, hey, do you want my list of local pros that I trust, that I actually use? And then you can drop the link for your referral link in the comments. That's an easy way just to get people to see it. And then you can also follow up with it afterwards. Problem solving. Hey, I solved a similar issue with this local business, if you're interested. So how I would do this is, hey, I was just talking with, probably I would tag the person that I was talking to. I was just talking with Chris. He was looking for a plumber because he was having an issue with, his toilet was clogged up and he couldn't get anybody to come out and fix it. We got it fixed by using XYZ company. If you're interested, I can help you out and get you their info. Whatever it may be. You can be very specific about a problem you solved for somebody, because somebody else is going to have that problem. When you think about being on social media, there are tens of thousands of people out there that could potentially see this, and they're all running into different issues at different times. So hopefully that makes sense and it sparks some things up. I think in the guide that I put together has some prompts to use in the AI tool to help you come up with some posts and some ideas, but I think the next slide has it too. Anything else before I move on?
No.
Okay. All right. So again, some really high impact social posts. And I'm working some of these into my weekly routine. Local shout outs, praising work that's done by very specific businesses. So what I'm doing is I'm going through, now that I have a portfolio of businesses that I've, got signed up, or at least got their listing on the directory, or I am building them because I've still got a list of them that I'm still building. I'm going into local community groups and I am going to be posting, or I started this yesterday. I'm posting hey, shout out to Betsco Remodeling for all the work that they do. If you want their information, I'll drop it in the comments. And so I'm sharing what this business does. I built their directory listing. I want to get the word out about what they're doing. And now it does 2 things. I get to share the fact that, this is a great business and you get to see the directory listing, but I'm also letting that business owner know, hey, we are out there working for them. We are out there sharing the word and getting them as much publicity as we can as we're building out the directory and building out the trust that they need to have in this directory and it working. So there's 2 things that happen when we do this. And then we can also share those into the XP community group so that they can see that we're also doing it as well. So there's lots of opportunity here to utilize social media to help share the good word about what we're doing, but also sharing the businesses that we're working with to try to get them as much attention as we can, because this is an attention game, and that's what we're when we get them into the directory, a lot of the conversation goes around, hey, you need more visibility. Well, we're going to help you get that visibility. Um, Resources offers, hey, I've compiled the trusted pros, DM me for the list. That's a really easy, we call it a two-step. Um, if, hey, I've got a list of quality, handymen in the area, or quality painters or landscapers in, whatever the city is. Be specific about the city. If you want the list, go ahead and DM me and I'll send it over to you. Now you get people to comment, and now you've got an open DM communication and you can send it to them, email, whatever. Vendor spotlights, kind of talked through that. Doing a weekly spotlight of a specific business that you're working with and what a great job that they did, or something specific that they've done. Vendors love to be called out. Any attention they can get is great. Before or after content, if we've got businesses that we're working with that are willing to share before and after, it really does an amazing job of showcasing their work and helps to drive attention for, hey, I'd like to I want to be called out, or I need help with a project that I'm working on. And it helps, again, to drive attention to you and makes you seen as the expert and brings people to you. So hopefully all that makes sense. Social content, there's a lot that we can do. There's really no end to it. It's all as creative as you want to be, but you want to do it with purpose and utilize the AI assistant to help you come up with that purpose if you don't know what to post. And then here are some of the prompts. I was pretty sure I had put this in here. So here are some of the prompts that we can use for vendor shout outs. These are really simple prompts. Copy, paste this stuff in, or just type it out. Write a shout out for Joe's Painting, perfect kitchen cabinets work. You put this into the AI assistant, tell it what you're doing. You're creating a post, and I want to write a shout out. It's going to write an amazing post. You guys hopefully have used the AI assistant enough now to see the amazing output that it gives you. Give it specific businesses, specific information, and it'll kick out some really great stuff. Service spotlights, spotlighting the happy home cleaning, last minute rental rescue. Again, being specific around the business and the service they provided. The more specific language you can use around the business, the service, and the customer that they served, the more responses you're going to get and the more engagement you're going to get. Because if generic conversation or generic posts really lead to nobody paying attention, whereas if it's specific around a service, a type of customer, and what the result was, you're going to get more people that are interested in, because they can relate to it. Resource offered, again, draft a post offering my special list of reliable local contractors if I'm looking at remodeling, again, landscaping, whatever it may be. Personal stories, write a story about finding a great local pro for emergency project. We have people that have, plumbing issues, emergencies, they have AC issues. We're getting into summer, it's hot. Somebody's AC goes out, having a story about how, A1 heating and cooling came out and got our AC working within, 2 hours of it going down, is going to resonate with somebody who's just had their AC go out, or has had their AC go out multiple times, and they're fed up with trying to find a contractor or find somebody that's going to help them. So again, sharing stories, there's just no end of stuff that you can do, and be creative about it. That's going to draw people to you. Again, social media is a great passive way of creating your personal brand and sharing what it is that we're doing, and showing what our vendors are doing, and providing valuable clients and resources for them. So hopefully that makes sense. Super easy. If you need to screenshot it, you can, but I think I'd put all these in the guide as well. So lead conversion flow. What do? We identify the problem, spot needs in conversations or post, create helpful conversations. There are probably 3 things that need to be done on any post that you see somebody is asking for help. You like the post, like or heart the post, you put a comment on it, and then you send them a DM. If you do those 3 things, it's almost impossible for them to ignore you, because the whole idea is, if I like it, it gets a notification into their phone, hey, somebody liked your post. You put a comment on it, they get another notification. Hey, Jody commented on your post, and then following it up with a DM. Now they've seen you because in the comment, you're like, hey, do you mind if I send you a message? And you either wait for them to reply to that comment or you just immediately jump in and send them a DM and they're looking for it. So by doing those three things, it really dramatically increases the likelihood of them seeing it and responding because they know you're not spamming them. Resource sharing, sharing specific solutions, answering the questions and the problems that they're having. Don't be generic. Don't try to provide them a link to something that doesn't mean anything to them. And then facilitating the booking, being the expert, being the one that's owning that customer and helping that business, and then follow up, check in with them, make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to. Because there's nothing worse than filling out a form for a customer and having the business not follow up, and then also getting that information, going to the trouble of getting that information from the customer, putting it in there, and then have the business call them and they not reply. Like, dude, you said you needed this. I hooked you up with a great contractor, and then you just ghost them. You don't even bother to answer the phone. That's not cool. So you want to make sure that you were holding both people accountable to make sure that it's the best experience for both sides. And that's kind of where we fit in the flow here with connecting these businesses. Because the better customers we bring in and the better vendors we have, and the better they're trained on how to immediately connect with those customers, the better overall experience it's going to be. And people will start raving about the directory, the services that we're providing, all of that. So what's our weekly plan? Number one is we always want to track results. If we're working with businesses, if we're reaching out to people, we're tracking it every day. How many people did we, ask for information or send information to? Tracking those results and making sure we're tracking it all the way through. Creating content. Use the AI to create a couple of posts a day, or at least a few times a week, that are going into these groups full of these homeowners to try to drive engagement and pull people to you. Engaging daily. Again, this is part of the Power Hour stuff. Commenting on a couple of relevant posts when we get a chance. So again, we can help to drive leads. And then expanding our network. Join a couple of new groups. If you're not already part of them, find some new groups. Cities are huge. There's literally hundreds of Facebook groups out there with ideal customers, vendors, other agents. It's hard to not find ones that are a good fit. For me, I found that it's harder to stay in touch with all of them just because there's so many, and it's easy to kind of lose track of the ones that we should be connecting, ones that we kind of skip over or don't engage as often as we should. So what's our path to success? Our Power Hour, make sure we're utilizing our Power Hour. Small investment of time turns into big relationships and long-term success. Filling our pipeline, keeping everybody happy, and building up our recurring revenue. Making 2 or more genuine connections, really reaching out and talking to people. I've had a couple of people reach out to me this week that, Ashley helped me connect with one of them today, and I had another one that just kind of reached out of the blue earlier this week that are looking for help. They just need help. And if we hadn't been doing the things that we're doing every single day, they would have never reached out to me. They wouldn't trust me, first of all, to reach out to, and they wouldn't believe the services that we provide. So creating genuine connection can be done online. It takes a little work, but people are willing to trust you if you come across as genuine. And then become the go-to resource. Like Deanna was mentioning, becoming that go-to person in your community. Now people start to come to you, they flock to you, and you get to build out a huge network by doing that. So the more trusted you are, the more other people see what success you're having, they're going to want to be part of that. And they're going to want to know what you're doing and how. So that becoming that resource is a great opportunity to just blow things up for your particular business. All right. So I think that is it for me. And, we are pretty much spot on with time. I've been really lucky that I haven't gone over because I like to talk, and normally my issue is not being short on time. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm just going to open it up. We've got a couple of minutes. Anybody have anything else that they want to go over? Any questions? Anything that they want to share? before we wrap for the evening.
I do want to add something again real quick because well, first of all, this is a great again opportunity for everybody to learn new things. At the same time, remember that it's really important for us as agents to connect with our vendors. Maybe if you're gonna focus on home service providers, just call a vendor, let them know who you are. You're an XP network agent and you're there for them, learn about their business so that you already have someone in mind to, for the moment that someone asks you for a referral, you already know the vendor that you're gonna refer. That way you also kind of build a business relationship with a vendor, building trust, kind of like we're going to work together here as a team to get you more business. And at the same time, because you want to remind the vendors that they're part of this directory. Remember that this directory we started, actually the first vendor maybe joined 3 years ago. So we kind of like have to refresh, their minds. Hey, just to remind you, you're part of this network, and I want to get to know your business more and stuff like that because actually that happened today. Someone called one of the vendors and mentioned XP, and he was like, "What is XP?" So it's important for us to do that as agents.
That's a fantastic call out because the other thing that does, it gives you, especially if you're not the agent that signed this business up, it gives you a connection locally with that business to reach out to when you do need to refer them and follow up. So there's lots of pluses on that, on just following that one simple thing that Diana just mentioned. Chris, do you have something to add?
No, actually, Diana mentioned exactly what I was about to say, how extremely important is for you to start develop that relationship with the vendors. And the reason why, not only that, remember, stronger and closer relationship you have with your vendors, remember, they're the one that are offering the referral fee. They are the one that are going to be extremely tenfold, for you help them to bring the customers and do part of the marketing and do part of the, thank you so much for thinking about, my company and help me. It is extremely important because at the end of the day, they're the one that actually at the same time they're compensating you, for what you do. And so it is extremely important for you to definitely build that relationship. Just pick up the phone, like Diana said, there's so many companies right now that we started a long time ago, and even if you are new right now and you add in new vendors, it doesn't cost you anything to just simple information. I mean, just text, have a nice day. If we can, we planning to start doing a meeting with vendors. I'm planning here in San Antonio to start doing events where we want to call in each individual vendor, say, hey, you know what, you are a part of organization, maybe you forgot about it, but we're more than welcome to invite you for you to come and meet with us so that way we can show you how we want to help your business, how we can actually increase the traffic and start developing that relationship. Remember, this is something in any kind of industry. Many of the realtors, I got many realtors that I know, they haven't done absolutely zero advertising, in the last couple of years because they developed relationship for many years at the beginning and they live only on referrals. So it is extremely important. You do definitely want to build, that relationship and know more a little bit about your vendors' businesses.
Yeah, for sure. And before we go, I'm going to share a quick story. I had a meeting with a potential vendor this afternoon, and just to show how little businesses typically care about the people that are their customers. So he was paying $150 a month to a marketing company. I asked him what this marketing company was doing for him. His answer was, I don't know. They never called me. They never talked to me. They never sent me one lead. I was paying $150 a month. I have no idea what they did. And when he called to cancel, they're like, okay, have a nice day. Thank you. So just by doing simple things as far as sharing them on social media, sending them a text message, reaching out and showing that you understand that they're a person, they're a valuable part of our network, is going to position you and position the XP network as somebody who cares, somebody who gives a shit about what they're doing, whereas most businesses just don't. They don't ever hear from anybody. They get ghosted by marketing companies all the time, and they're really frustrated with what they see and what happens. And we have an opportunity to be very different and to elevate ourselves with just simple stuff. Just being the company that cares a little bit is just light years ahead of what most businesses will run into. So I
Definitely.
wanted to share that because it just happened this afternoon, and I thought, and what Chris said just sparked it. It was like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this conversation today.
Yeah, and it is actually, I mean, like these cases, it's hundreds of thousands of cases that people are paying monthly something they don't even know and they have not even idea, and then it's a hassle to cancel. But the more important thing to me is, start building the relationship with that vendor, but in top of that, make sure that they know that you are there with no intentions to collect any money up front. So it is extremely important that the vendor, when you contact them, as a matter of fact, when you do a cold call, and, everybody is kind of defensive. Oh, these people want to sell me something. Okay, so what's the catch? Because, what do you mean you're going to give me a free pay? So what's the catch? When I have to give you my credit card, things like that. So it's extremely important that if you start developing that relationship, every single time, make sure, hey, Mr. Vendor, remember, we are a professional business development organization. Our job is connecting clients with vendors at no cost up front. So please understand that. Don't feel, that you don't want to contact us because maybe you think that you have to, pay something up front. No, remember, guys, we are giving the first lead for free anyway. So make sure that the vendor that you are talking to say, this is what we want. We want for you to try, and give us an opportunity to show you what we're capable to do, what we wanted to do, how do we want to help you, and we don't want a penny up front. So if we let people know that what is exactly its experience all about from the way from the beginning, believe me, the results are, because now people are in the defensive. I mean, every single small business or vendor you talk about right now, they must have one or more bad experience talking to marketing people. So, but it's upfront, because every single one has to give it a credit card upfront, and after that, it's a hassle for it to cancel. It take it forever, and by the time they cancel, they already pull out bunch amount of money of that credit card, right? So, but if they know all the way from the beginning that our platform is only with the intention for you to try and give an opportunity at no cost, believe me that it will be a huge change.
100%. Almost everybody I talk to, when I say it's free up front, they say, what's the catch? Every single time. Because they're so used to getting screwed over or having somebody want them to pay a huge amount up front and then not delivering on the back end. It happens every day.
Correct.
Okay, we are at the bottom of the hour. I want to thank everybody for being here. Deanna, I'm going to get this presentation translated and I'll get it sent over to you, or I'll get it uploaded into the folder. I will get the video uploaded tomorrow. I really appreciate everybody jumping on. So thank you all.